What up? What up? Where's your boy Charles Brown? We doing something different today. I'm going live. I ain't been live in a couple of years. I ain't been going live in a minute, but I'm going live. I'm gonna start going live because there's so much going on that I be wanting to touch on, right? I don't know if y'all seeing this consequence on the Art of Dialogue talking about Kanye. And shout out to Art of Dialogue, they doing their thing, right? But I want to talk about Consequence right now. Consequence, the rapper, used to be on Love and Hip Hop, got into the beef with Joe Budden. He was a part of Tribe Called Quest for a little bit. And yada yada yada, Consequence. And I'm just gonna be blunt with it. I like Con's style, his rap, but I never was happy that they put him in Tribe Called Quest. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. When I first heard that album, what album? Beats, Rhymes, and Life. When they added Consequence to Beats, Rhymes, and Life, and I know Consequence is Q-Tip cousin, I wasn't jacking that at all. We was hurt. Like, bro, we got the CD. We went to my house, right? Me and a couple dudes, and we put that album in. And I remember that album like yesterday, front to back. We played over and over. And two things we walked away from that album. First of all, it wasn't fully Tribe, right? In our opinion. Because you can't just add nobody to Tribe, bro, right? And two, Beats, Rhymes, and Life was cool, right? We didn't like Love Movement like that, but Beats, Rhymes, and Life was cool, but something was missing. I don't know what it was. We couldn't figure it out. It had a couple joints, but we could not figure out what was missing from Beats, Rhymes. Yeah, it had a couple joints. Don't get me wrong. Beats, Rhymes, and Life had some smackers, but it was something. It was just something. It felt forced, right, in a way. This one they was going through their behind the scenes stuff. Tip and Fife, and somehow, some way, Consequence got added to Tribe Called Quest, and we was like, this ain't the dynamic we signed up for. We're like, yo, this the Tribe, bro. Like, we can't be adding nobody to this like that. And when we heard he was Tip cousin, it was like, oh, you did some nepotism. You just threw your cousin in there just because you could. And I think this is when Fife was in and out. I don't remember everything that was going on, right? It's a long time ago. I would have to sit and really think about what actually happened with that Tribe situation, because I don't 100% remember. But I do remember Beats, Rhymes, and Life was when I believe we first got wind of Consequence. And I'm gonna keep it a buck about my hip-hop knowledge of Consequence, right? I feel like Consequence has been living in hip-hop, and just keep it 100. Consequence been like a I don't want to say this without being disrespectful, low-key a leech in a way. Like, Consequence has been in hip-hop by default. He was in hip-hop by being a Q-Tip cousin. He was in hip-hop by being a part of Tribe. Then he became in hip-hop by jumping on Love and Hip Hop. When he went on Love and Hip Hop, people was like, who really is Consequence to be? You know what I'm saying? When Love and Hip Hop first came out, it was Jim Jones, and I believe he said he started Love and Hip Hop. He was the reason the whole show got started. It was Jim Jones, Joe Budden, Consequence, I think, may have been on the first season. I believe Saigon might have been on that first season. And who else was on that first season of Love and Hip Hop? I don't know, it was so long ago. Jim Jones and his girl, right? And Joel Santana, I think he had turned it down. Oh yeah, Fabulous Girl was on there. And Jewel's girl was on there. But Jules was only sporadic on there, right? And Consequence was on Love and Hip Hop. And I don't even think Consequence was even bigger than Saigon at the time. I think Love and Hip Hop put a new battery in Consequence back. Now, behind the scenes stuff, yeah, he's doing this, he's doing that. we hearing about all this ghostwriting after the fact and whatever. And I'm not hating, but I'm just saying, as far as putting his stamp on it, he's writing for Kanye, he's writing for this and that. But that's a behind the scenes. That's not a front run. That's not a front man, right? So end of the day, we're just seeing Consequence be like he telling you that he doing more than he really is. Like we don't know what he doing. We hearing him say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the third, yada yada yada. He getting to this whole little thing with Joe Budden. I believe he swung on Button or something like that, right? So it's never about the music though, right? It's never about the music. And like I said, when they put him on Tribe Called Quest, we kind of thought it kind of brought the album down, because we want Tribe. Tribe is Tip and Fife, right? Jerobi and Muhammad. This third voice coming in there kind of threw the chemistry off, in my opinion. And I'm gonna say something blasphemous, and I know some of y'all might unfollow me just for saying this, but I think Jay Dilla changed the sound of Tribe as well. I think he changed it very drastically to what a Dilla sound was, not a Tribe sound. And I think all of these additions, right, it turned Tribe into something else as to what we wasn't prepared to deal with, right? And I think a lot of us kind of felt like it wasn't Tribe no more. But I digress. So now, Consequence blew up on that. Now we got Consequence right now as the spokesman for Kanye. It feel like Consequence has been sent out on a dummy mission, in my opinion, right? To clean up the mess of Kanye. It feels like, if you're watching, I've been watching I've been watching Art of Dialogue, and he's been having different artists. He's had Keith Murray, he's had Faison Love, he's had Andre Rison, he's had, I believe, RBX, maybe from Aftermath. He's had all these people talking about these old stories, which is, we love the old stories about Death Row, Suge Knight, yada yada. So now it's Consequence turn. You're like, Consequence? What's Consequence gonna talk about? Guess what he's talking about? Kanye. 4 or 5 videos straight of Kanye. And the one that came and dropped today that got me a little, it made me feel a certain way that I wanted to address it, is the title says, Kanye, he says, J. Cole wasn't calling Kanye what did he call him in the song? See, I had my joint, right? I had the joint, a fraud. I forgot the song, but I'm bugging, because I had the titles written down on what he was calling him. False prophet, right? The title says J. Cole wasn't calling Kanye a false prophet when he was trying to get on. And the title is so ridiculous, it's so unfair, because it's like, that's the purpose of the song False Prophet. I thought he was something more than what he was. Then when I learned, when I did get on, I think Cole would have felt like that whether he got on or not. But to say J. Cole wasn't calling Kanye a false prophet when he was trying to get on, then he goes to elaborate how he put J. Cole on some video shoot or some, all this little stuff like he made him or something. I'm like, bro, hold up, slow down. I know you on a dummy mission right now to be like whatever, you trying to repair Kanye's image, because he said he got some other videos where he's coming at Kid Cudi, right? Because Kid Cudi got beef with Kanye, right? He's like, Kid Cudi, he thinks he's calling Drake soft since day one at Kanye's party. He said, man, why this lame dude in here? Why is he here? What's wrong with him? Like, we don't need him around, blah, blah, blah. So he assassinated Kid Cudi name in the name of Kanye. The other video was about how Beans came and saved Kanye from getting his chain snatched. Now everybody knows that story, that Beans came, Kanye called him, right? But by the time Consequence finished telling the story, it becomes less spectacular, like, oh, he just did it on some real stuff, but had I got there in time, it would, like, he inserted himself into it and made it like Ye would have been good regardless, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you doing, bro? You crashing out right now for Kanye. And so it's like, then he goes, Jay was going to sign him anyway. It wasn't. We all saw the video. We saw the documentary where they said Jay and Dame only really wanted Ye for his beats. We all saw that. Ye didn't have no problem with that. He was the one on there talking about it. So now he going to rewrite history now and say Jay didn't know enough about Kanye in the streets because he just wasn't in the streets. Had he known, he would have been like, yeah, no, that's not how it went, bro. We all know that's not how it went. We all know that. So, simple fact of the matter is, we saw Kanye almost not get signed by Rockefeller Records. He had to go to get another deal, and they stopped him. They gated the deal and took it from him and made him sign with them, right? We know that. So, end of the day, I'm sitting here like, you going at everybody under the sun for this guy, right? Then the other one that got me crazy the other day was the Pusha T one. He claimed Pusha T was disloyal for distancing himself from Kanye. And he said Pusha T talk all this real stuff, but he did the most industry move in the world. And he was trying to come at Big Sean too. And I'm like, bro, so you just gonna crash out for everybody, right? Everybody's wrong. Kanye's right. And you're crashing out. See, this is what I'm talking about when I say somebody is desperate. And I'm going to tell you why. And I know disrespect, but I'm just here to, I talk facts, bro. You got 4 or 5 videos crashing out on everybody that got beef. They ain't even got real beef with Kanye. They just saying, bro, you wilding right now. So he crashing out on all these videos saying this guy wrong, that guy, that everybody, he even say Pusha T wrong, right? When Pusha T been riding with this dude as long as we heard of Pusha T, right? As long as he been rocking with Kanye, he been riding through thick and thin. And then he try to say he not family, because right now, end of the day, bro, it's a business. Pusha T already told you, him and Kanye argue like cats and dogs. Right? Now, he had already decided he was going to do his own independent label. So it's self-preservation when he go and say, Kanye, you went too far, bro. You still my man, but I gotta call it out. Consequence don't want to hear nobody say nothing to this guy. And I'm gonna tell you why, because it's desperation. I just told you in the beginning of the video, it's by association that we even hear of Consequence. Right? I never heard him once say Kanye did anything wrong at all ever in none of these videos. I'm saying here like J. Cole is wrong. First of all, False Prophet was about 8-7 years ago. 5-6 years ago, huh? J. Cole don't talk about Kanye on a regular basis. You're bringing up something from 5-6-7 years ago, talking about, oh, you wasn't feeling like that when you was trying to get on. J. Cole really been on though. Right? He didn't know. Everybody agreed with the song when it came out, except for stands of Ye and you. So it's like when the song came out, it was understood what he was talking about. Now it's 7 years later, and now you want to come and say, oh, you wasn't feeling like that when you was trying to get put on. What you coming out cold for? I get it. The interviewer asked him, right? And salute to the interview doing his job. Now, there's certain ways to handle it. They're going to ask you what they're supposed to ask you. They're supposed to do their job. But you're going to come and attack a dude who hasn't said nothing really negative about Kanye. Right? And you're going to try to bring up his past when he was young. I guarantee you, they got stuff when you was young trying to get on. They were saying, oh, Consequences wasn't that dude when he was trying to get on. Right? J. Cole been on about good minimum 10 years. So anything you talking about is mad old. He said, I thought he was one thing, but when I really understood it, I realized he wasn't that. That's all he said. I believe Consequence crashing out because they getting nervous over there. It's getting thin over there. Now, Kanye ain't going broke by no stretch of the imagination, right? But when Ye effed up, that means Consequence effed up. When Ye mentally ain't there, Consequence is going to be hurting by default, if that's his bread and butter. So end of the day, I feel like Consequence You can be his bro, and we get it that you riding for him, but you ain't got to attack everybody in the industry for him. He not even speaking for himself, right? He's still going around on the same stuff that got him in the problem in the first place. So end of the day, I need to talk to Consequence right now. You're crashing out, and it's starting to look kind of crazy right now. You crashing out on people who was just as loyal as you, and they had it to the end of their rope. You can't tell a dude to stick with a dude forever, no matter what. It's fathers and sons that don't talk to each other, bro. It's brothers and sisters don't talk. You can't tell a dude no matter what. I'm gonna ride and say good things about him forever. They're not holding to him like you are. They don't need his crutch like you do. You're coming as self-made men who apparently got something going on where they can say, you know what, Kanye, you was wrong this time, and it is what it is. I don't think Consequence could say you was wrong, because he could cut Pusha T off and Pusha T gonna be okay. I didn't like how he tried to disparage Pusha's music and all this and that, or everything that he got going on. He belittled all of it in the interview. Like he barely rocking with him. Like I'm like, bro, where this coming from? Oh, just because he said he said I can't condone what Ye just said. That's all he said. He tried to say he was never the president of good music. He was never that. What you saying that for? You wasn't saying that a year ago. Now it's everything is fair game. Now now Pusha T wasn't never nothing. And he was never loyal. Like it's crazy. I don't know your level of loyalty is, but you should be able to talk to your man and say you wrong. For some reason, anybody saying Kanye wrong, Consequence got a problem with it. If you're not meat loving this guy, telling him rubbing his back, you know what I'm saying? Stroking his ego, telling him he's right all day and night. Guess what? That's not what grown men do, bro. Especially real family. Consequence talking like the biggest yes man in hip hop right now. The biggest yes man in hip hop. Listen to him talk. He dancing around everything. Every time you ask him about Kanye directly, he like, you know, man, you know what I mean? But then you ask him somebody else, he got 10 minutes to talk. But when it's about Kanye, it's 3 seconds. I mean, it is what it is, and that's it. He ain't gonna elaborate on what Ye doing. I promise. Watch the videos for yourself. Go to Art of Dialogue and watch them. He ain't got nothing back. Kanye did nothing wrong. Never, ever. And that's why I'm saying Consequence not holding up his end of the bargain with this hip-hop stuff. I think he's in by default. He's in by being a glorified yes man, in my opinion, right? You can name me a classic Consequence album. And I'm gonna go even further, and I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't even really know a real Consequence record. And I'm not trying to be funny. So you go and tell me if this don't look like a glorified yes man crashing out just to stay relevant because his bread is buttered over there. My whole thing is, if that's where your bread is buttered, that's okay. But you ain't got to come and do all this crashing out and try to spin it and make it like all of a sudden everybody else is crazy. And everybody else is wrong. I disagree, homeboy. I disagree. Let me know what you think in the comments, man. CLBMG.com. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. Like I said, I'm going to start going live because there be so much going on. I won't be having time to just stop and work it all out. But let me know what you think about the new format, the live. And I ain't been live. I used to go live all the time. But I stopped because the things changed and it wasn't always connecting right. But we going back. We're going back and we're going to see how it works. All right, CLBMG.com. Charles Brown, talking facts live. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.